Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Welcome back to my channel. Today is a very good day because in the midst of Ramadan, we are having a very special guest staying in the UAE, working in the UAE, but studying in Malaysia. He is one of my neighbor in ASB Residential and also one of the imam here in our surau. So here with us now, Brother Saliu Senghor. Assalamualaikum, brother.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi brother and Randy. How are you? And how's the Ramadan going? Thank you for having me today.
Alhamdulillah. I hope you are doing well there. So
Yes.
how was the flight from Malaysia to UAE?
Yeah, I think it was a unique experience traveling during Ramadan, the daytime. But alhamdulillah, it was a direct flight, so not much transit here and there. And I didn't lose any luggage behind. Everything was
Alhamdulillah.
intact. But yeah, it was good.
Yeah, alhamdulillah. So you took the sahur here in Kuala Lumpur, and then you get the iftar in UAE, meaning that you lengthen your fasting then.
Exactly. I took suhoor in KL,
Uh-huh.
and that was around 6. So going back to the UAE, it means I fasted extra 4 hours
Masya Allah.
because when I reached here, it was 1:15, around 1:15, yeah, and I broke my fast here. So as you mentioned, exactly, it was 16 hours or 17 hours. A unique
So
day for me.
so you have like 4 more hours to do more ibadah, right? It's very good then.
Yes, alhamdulillah. It was a unique experience, yeah.
Okay. So before going further, can you briefly explain to the viewers your work and educational background, brother?
Yes, coming to my educational background, my bachelor's was economics, and I took it in Sudan, Khartoum, at the International University of Africa, and I graduated 2013. Then my master's was in UAE, United Arab Emirates University, MBA. From there, I proceeded to Malaysia to study Islamic finance, PhD at INSEF University. Coming to my career background and history briefly, I worked upon graduation from my bachelor's. I went back home and I worked with Takaful. We have Takaful Gambia Limited, which was the only Takaful by then in our country. But now, so far, we have like 3 Takafuls. Alhamdulillah, because the country also is small. And coming back to UAE, where I did my master's degree, I've been working as an RA during my period of studying, research assistant. RA means research assistant.
Yeah.
For the period of my studies in UAE. So teaching, research, and the industry is Takaful.
Okay, wonderful. So then we noticed that there are so many options in the Gulf countries regarding Islamic finance, where we can study at the best university like Hamad bin Khalifa. Also in the UAE, there are some. Why did at the first place you choose in safe far in Malaysia in compared to what you have in the UAE?
Yes, that's a very good question. I remember when I graduated from my master's, I was looking for top countries whereby you have Islamic finance taking the lead, and from my Google search, I saw that Malaysia is one of the top countries. This was in 2019 when it comes to Islamic finance. So I was looking at universities across in Malaysia. Then I came across INSEF, but there are certain things that really caught my attention, and one of them is that it's one of the leading, like in terms of publication and research in Islamic finance and economics. This is one of the things that really, and their track record. I was looking at their timeline when it was initiated and the track record they had from day one to now, and it was really impressive. I say, oh, this is exactly what I was looking for. The second point of switching was that the reason why INSEF was initiated in the first place. According to my readings, I learned that it was initiated by Bank Negara, which is the national or the central bank, you can call it, in order to build the human capital in Islamic finance and economics in Malaysia and the world beyond. So based on this, I say, yes, I think these are the right people. Also, I remember looking at the profiles of their faculty members, which was very impressive. And I decided finally to switch to South Asia, in moving from the Gulf to study Islamic finance. So these are some of the reasons why I selected Malaysia and why I chose INSEF. Yes.
Okay. Then there are several types of PhD in INSEF.
Yes.
There is a PhD by coursework and dissertations, which is the one that we both are doing right now. And also there is another type, which is the PhD by research and also the industrial PhD. But commonly, students choose the PhD by research and also coursework and dissertations. Why did you choose to do the coursework and dissertations? Is there any specific aspect that you considered so that you choose this mode of study?
Yes, there are some reasons why I opted for the coursework plus dissertation. Reason number one is, when you come to the social sciences, there are theories you learn, concepts you learn. And these concepts and theories, they enrich your understanding of the area you want to venture into. And considering Islamic finance, even though I took, after my bachelor's degree, I forgot to mention that I took bank management and Islamic banking, professional diploma at Khartoum University of Khartoum. I did my professional diploma there in Islam bank management and Islamic banking. So a bit of background was there already. And during my master's also, I took like the financial institutions and Islamic finance, a subject, not a program, but a subject within my MBA program. But coming back to reason why I focus on coursework plus dissertation is because I want to get an in-depth understanding of concepts and theory, which I will use later on during my research. Number two, I believe whilst taking the courses, I would identify the best professor I can work with, because through that I can know their area of interest more and their passion, the passion and the concept they have and their stance and ideology. So it will help me to identify the best professor practically, not just theory, but practically who I think I can work with. And really it happened. So I didn't even have second thought to choose my professor. Immediately after my comprehensive exams, I already identified who I can work with. And this was during the courses I identified them, who I think really I'll be able to work with this professor. This is one of the second reasons, Yeah. And I think it's good that finish doing the courses, taking the comprehensive exam and doing this approach. I think for me, it really fits my passion, my career plans, and, my desire as a PhD student in Islamic finance.
Okay, so what I heard from the prospective students, they are quite afraid to do the comprehensive exam. Can you already passed comprehensive exam? Can you explain a bit what is it, and then how difficult is it, or how easy is it for you?
Yeah, it's your question. How difficult is it, or why whether I was afraid about taking the comprehensive exams, or what was my experience generally?
So first, can you just briefly explain what is it, the comprehensive exam, and then how's your experience passing this exam?
Yeah, coming to the comprehensive exams, to be honest, it was a bit scary. Why? Because why is because you have to, it's not like an ordinary exam, it's comprehensive, and you have to cover all these main we call it the fundamentals and the backbone of Islamic finance, the Sharia one, the finance and the economics, which is really, it requires a lot of reading, broadening your scope. And also is a must, mandatory for you to be considered a candidate now, a PhD candidate. Because if you don't cross that, and you are given 2 shots, and that's, I'm talking about the scary part, you are given 2 shots. If you fail one, you fail second, that your chances are over. All these things put together makes it scary, but it's doable at the end of the day. And it's just require good preparation, reading your stuffs, going back. It's very good. It's one of the reasons why, in fact, I prefer the coursework with this one also, because what it will measure your understanding of, your level as a PhD student, because PhD student also is called Doctor of Philosophy. You should be you should have the philosophy in your area. Able to to critically analyze things. And if you want to do that, you just need this theory. And the comprehensive is there to measure you, whether you really grasp this theory you learn before, this concept you learn in Islamic finance, which is very, very, very good. It's scary, but at the end of the day, I believe it's one of the best tools, to measure whether you are qualified to be a PhD doctor, get this doctor in philosophy, as far as the PhD program is concerned. Yes.
Okay, so it is a bit scary, but it is doable. So for you who watch this video, please don't too much afraid about comprehensive exam. Every year, many students get passed through this exam. So if we can do it, I believe you can do it. Okay. So next questions. After comprehensive exam, we got the proposal defense, and then we can do the research. Can you tell us about your research idea that you are that you are doing right now, and with
Yes.
whom do you work with?
Yes. First of all, my first supervisor is Prof. Shah. And my research area is trying to assess the impact of Islamic social finance projects that are being sponsored or funded by the Islamic Development Bank. So in essence, we are trying to do impact assessment. And why I was motivated in this to go forward towards this area is simply because I feel like a lot of money is being pumped, and some of these fundings, they are coming from zakah, they are coming from endowment, they are coming from sadaqah, and these are entrustment, amana, from the Islamic perspective. So really these fundings, these projects getting achieving the goals that they were supposed to achieve. Okay, so to rephrase the topic again, I forgot about, we are trying to assess the impact of these projects in achieving the goals that they're supposed to achieve. So the goal is a kind of our guideline here. Okay, trying to measure at the end of the day how successful are these projects and how they are changing the lives of other people. And we are focusing on 2 sectors, the education sector and the energy sector. Why education? Why education is because education, if you take a look across all the 57 member countries of the IDB, where predominantly you have all these projects going around, you'll find out that education is the top of their priorities, all these 57. So we chose education, which is the backbone and the central in terms of importance to all this education. Second is why the energy sector is because we believe that all the other rest of the sectors, whether it's health, whether it's education, whether it's transportation, human capital, or human development, all this, they cannot function effectively in the absence of power and energy in this 21st century. So it's relevant across all these sectors. Energy is relevant across all these sectors. So that's why we decided to do these 2 sectors, to focus on them. And there are a lot of money being pumped, invested in these 2 sectors, if you take a look at the projects since the inception until now. So this is our area of study, and we hope that it will be beneficial for the project managers, the policymakers, IDB itself, the respective 57 member countries, and the Ummah at large, inshallah. How much this funding is changing the life of you and me and other people in this field. Yeah.
Okay. So very interesting topic, and I believe it is also challenging but interesting, and inshallah will be a good benefit for the society. For those who watch this video and considering to start PhD at itself, can they hear from you your three tips for them to be succeeded to complete all the courses, doing all the exams, and also and finally comprehensive exams, and then proceed to the proposal defense? What are the three tips you may suggest to them?
Yeah, I think that's a very good question, brother. And tip number one is, they say that when you want to travel fast, go alone. But when you want to travel far, try to get someone to accompany you. The PhD journey is far. You know, unlike masters could be 2 years, they are gone. But PhD is 4 years if you want to go for the coursework plus dissertation, which we are doing. I would tip number one, try to find, you know, people to work with, to exchange ideas, to share, you know, have group discussions, identify relevant people to work with. That's my tip number one. Don't do it separately.
Okay.
Be with the flow, be with the group, move together with colleagues and friends and exchange ideas and talk about your passions and, you know, share your information. Tip number two is, once you start your proposal, writing your proposal, discuss your proposal, okay? And be open to accept any kind of critical. Why? It's because to get feedback and to get critics at the initial part of your proposal, to improve it is better than getting it after 2 years at the middle or at the end.
Correct.
Yes, because yeah, once you discuss your ideas to many people as you can, and then what do they think about it? Be open about, get feedback and try to make it at the best from scratch, from the onset. That's tip number one, from the onset. And the other thing is also what I mentioned before, as far as I'm concerned, be observant during your coursework and try to identify which professor you can work better. Who do you think you can collaborate and work with better? And try to do that during the course of your studies. Because again, getting the right person in the right area of interest will make things effective and efficient, and you can graduate on time. So these are the tips. To sum it up, first, get people to accompany you, identify the best professor you think you can work with during the coursework. And the last thing, once you start writing your proposal, discuss it to get the critical aspect correction at that point, better than waiting till the end, whereby it will be hard to come back. It will be late, or it will take extra miles to do it.
Okay. Beside the academics, living abroad in the foreign country like Malaysia could be another challenge, right? So, how do you find so far living in Malaysia and the ambience here? Do you think it is supporting your work and study, or do you have any obstacles, please?
Yes, with regards to living and studying in Malaysia, my first year, unfortunately, was COVID, 2020. I joined the program, so it was lockdown. I spent there like 6 months, if I could remember. And then I came back to the UAE, where I was before. Since then, it was online. So I spent 6 months lockdown almost, yeah. Then came back, but living in Malaysia, I think is very, very, if you're trying to compare it, it's reasonable to other Gulf countries, for example, or other places, in terms of housing expenditures, in terms of food, and in terms of tuition fees. Because, like, for example, if you are a tuition payer, it's very reasonable. Nothing to scare about, nothing to think about. I think it's very, very, very reasonable, right? And yeah, With family also, I cannot talk much about that either because I was there single, as you know, Brother Rangi, me, myself, and my books and computer. But I can say from the perspective of being individual, I think, yeah, it's very, very, it's flexible. It's very flexible in terms of expenses and food and accommodation, which are the three most important things, and the tuition also. And at INSEF, you have the brotherhood and the family there, which is very, very motivating. It's one family at INSEF, one family. Yeah. You have open people, professors who are willing to, go extra miles to assist you. A lot of workshops to enlighten you. A lot of workshops are there to enlighten you. You get speakers from different backgrounds, different part of the world coming over, which is very, very good in terms of workshops and training. You'll be equipped to prepare for the industry and the academic board in the future. Yes.
Okay. And then my last questions. So you are now, we can say you are in the final third, we can say, of your PhD. Let's say after you graduating from INSAFE, what is your career plan? Do you want to work in Malaysia, back in UAE, or maybe you will return to Gambia?
Yes. My plan when it comes to career, the future career plans is to proceed in the academia. I remember like before, let's say 3-4 years, my plan was to go to industry. But right now, as am I right now, according to my plans, is to continue in the academia, either more of research, area, than teaching. But if I get teaching also, I will proceed with that. Then maybe 5-10 years outside with the experience also and the exposure in this, after my PhD, I would take all this experience and that knowledge and that capabilities I develop outside back to my country. So immediately after finishing the PhD, the first years I want to proceed with research in the academia or teaching. Then after then I move back to my country with the knowledge I can get from all this experience and the skills in order to invest that thing in my country.
So in the short term, maybe you will stay in UAE to do the research and also the teachings, and then after quite some time, you will return then to the Gambia, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay, I think that's it of our interview sessions. Thank you very much, Brother Saliu, for your time and also your very inspiring story and also your experience. I believe this video will benefit many people who wants to study at INSEAD. Before we close, is there any closing statement from you to maybe from those from Gambia? I think there are getting more people from Gambia coming to INSEF. Do you have anything you want to share with them to convince them to study Islamic finance at INSEF?
Yeah, of course, I have something. I think when you look at Gambia, we had already 5, if I'm not mistaken, 4 to 5 graduates from the master's program coming from Gambia. Yes, and they already graduated. And as you mentioned, we have currently 1 master student, and we have 2 PhDs who are currently with INSEF. Considering our size, which is very small, we are just 2.5 and coming all the way from West Africa. I think this is a good start for Gambians to follow these footsteps, And I think we expect more to come to INSEF because those who graduated they are doing real good job back home. They are doing bad job, and I welcome all of them to come over. The right place, if they want to do it, Islamic finance, I would recommend for them to come to INSEF. If I'm rating, I'll give them 9/10 because I'm there, and those who graduate could attest to what I'm saying. Really, the hub is in Malaysia when it's come to Islamic finance, and the center is INSEF, the International Center for Islamic Finance Education. INSEF. That's the center for all of them to join. Everyone is welcome. Good professors, good environment, lot of interaction, and you'll graduate with, being really equipped and ready for either the industry or the academic. Which one? The MIF is there and the MSc is there.
Okay, thank you very much, Brother Saliu. We hope everything will be easy for you doing the research, and also we hope to see you again here in Kuala Lumpur in maybe after Eid
Inshallah.
or in in next couple of months, inshallah. Thank you
Yes,
again for
yes.
your time. For those who watched to the end, thank you for watching this video. Please like and share this video and recommend this to your colleagues. Maybe they will get benefit from this video. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.